Hello, welcome back to the channel. So this is a video of me just showing what I've been doing and achieved with Epic Battles American Civil War in the last couple of years. So I'm getting to a point now where this project's almost finished. I've pretty much painted all the Confederates apart from a handful of Zouaves and Cavalry, as I'm going to do. Painted most of my Union. Now with my Union, I had, before this, my Union army was my Union army was Callistra, and my Confederate army was Pendraken. So because Callistra and Epic Battles were so similar, I've kept the Union army, rebased some of it in regiments and command groups, and I got rid of the Pendraken stuff. So I've not quite painted as many strips of Epic Battles so far as the Confederates, but I have, I think, about 10 regiments left to do, and that'll be the Union army done. Again, with a bit more cavalry as well. But here we are, so pretty much standard Union infantry as I've painted, pretty much all the same. I do all the blanket rolls, sort of that blue-grey colour. Once the basin's finished, it'll have a bit of flock on it. This was a unit that I trimmed down the kepis on. I've done that on several units. I'm not going to be doing it on every unit, but just for comparison. That's one where I just painted the hats black. You know, from a distance, tabletop thing, you're not going to be able to see much of a difference. So next up, so that is an infantry unit with Callistra Command on the front. So I think it fits really nicely. I've got about eight or 9 miniatures on the front base, fills it out nicely. Now, next one is going to be the first of my just Callistra, so Iron Brigade. So this is Iron Brigade Command Stand. So obviously I'm packing the bases, but I'm not putting them as jam-packed as the shoulder-to-shoulder guys, with a bit of space. That's what my sort of Iron Brigade guys look like, and Callistra Zouaves. I have quite a few regiments of Zouaves for Epic Battles. Quite taken with the Zouaves. These guys are my New York Fire Zouaves, which is basically standard uniforms with a red kepi and red trousers. I do field a New York Brigade, and one of those New York regiments is Irish. So I've used the green flag. It's not really anything. I think it's from an American War of Independence flag sheet. Basically, big difference is just painted the trousers green, stand out a bit. And this is the Metal Warlord Games Zouaves, which I've got a unit of as well. So that's my infantry. That's how the infantry is shaping up. If you bear with while I do a few things. And show off the next wave of stuff. Then I'll give you a big overview of the army and what's done as it stands. So there you see there is our limber. You don't need limbers in the game. Often we just turn around the cannons to indicate that they are limbered and turn them back around for firing. But one of the things you don't necessarily get an appreciation of is how much space artillery batteries take up. And maybe it's not so much wide, but certainly depth. So I think having these fellas really showed off. I've got a few kind of wagons for scenario play. Dismounted cavalry, these are Callistra, but I will be having some of the Warlord Games cavalry painted. Again, the service colour was yellow for cavalry, hence they've got the yellow circles on the hats. And this cavalry I've done on the base there, but I'm actually changing my cavalry up for American Civil War to be 4 on a base. So these guys will get rebased. But I'm also using bigger bases. You might have seen in my Confederate video how I'm using bigger bases. I'm using bigger bases for all the cavalry in the Epic Battles range. I just really like the look it gives. Quite like the smaller bases for infantry and cavalry on bigger bases. In fact, for Epic Waterloo, my light cavalry is 4 for a base and my heavy cavalry is 5 for a base. But since American Civil War cavalry would be essentially light cavalry, that kind of fits my headcanon about it. My guns, so there's as you see, I've not painted the sand on these yet, but this is our Callistra gun and black powder gun. Now these fellas here, smaller bases, so I've done a load of smaller bases, and if I want to use a different set of rules, I'll just use the sort of long normal black powder bases as 2 elements, and if they take casualties and lose bases, then I've got a load of these I can swap out for 1 base. As I did like say Peter Pig American Civil War rules when I played that. So that's those bases, and finally if I show you my commanders, I always like to mount my commanders. I use tuppences. I do like seeing the round bases. For brigade commanders, I'm going to use 2 models a base. For army divisional commanders, I'm going to use 3 models per base. It'll need to be a bigger circle, to be honest. Those were originally Peter Pig, not Peter Pig at all. Peter Pig is 15mm Pendraken miniatures, and you can see the scale difference there between Pendraken and the Callistra models there, and the Epic ACW guys are a wee bit bigger in themselves. But there you go, that is kind of showcasing you in detail what I've been doing and working on. But let's show you them en masse. So obviously I've got the stuff I've had floating around in the, well, I've just showed you, but this is my box of infantry. So I'm using the 7-litre really useful boxes, and once this is finished there'll be 20 plus regiments of foot plus artillery, cavalry, skirmishers, etc. A couple of actually buildings there from last time I was playing. And the 7-litre boxes come with these, which is ideal for the American Civil War size. They'll sit in the top, so you can almost double the capacity of it. Unfortunately, the flags on the Waterloo models don't let me put one of these trays in. But anyway, so there's more of those half bases. You can see a couple of casualties on them there as well. More limbers, dismounted infantry, dismounted cavalry, artillery park, and there you go. So that's where my Union Army is. Once it's finished, the Union Army will actually be bigger than the Confederate Army that you've seen in the other video. But anyway, that is me. That's what I've been doing American Civil War, amongst loads of other stuff, which I will be talking about and showing off in detail, and then talking about the games and how to run a campaign that we're setting up. But anyway, I will leave you with, I hope every dice you need to roll a 6 rolls a 6, and I look forward to chatting to you again. Goodbye for now.